Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to OG versus Just Era. Now, Just Era, they're still a very new team, so they've not really got like the best cohesion between all the players just yet, and that does sort of reflect in their scores so far in the Epic League. They're at the bottom. Well, they're not at the bottom actually. Never mind. They're 8th place, so they are still just about qualifying for Division 1 right now to stay. And this is the last day, so they have to. So if they just get 2-0'd right now, then they go to 2 wins, 8 losses, and that actually puts them just behind Alliance, who are on 2 wins, 7 losses, which would then actually push them into the relegation zone and get knocked down to Division 2. But even if they lose, but all they need to do is win 1 game. If they can win 1 game, they will keep themselves in Division 1. But that's their game plan, right? They just got to make sure they win 1 game. Obviously, they want to actually take the series, you know, give them a little bit of a confidence boost for the rest of the actual tournament. But even still, that is the key objective right now. And they're going to lead up with the Magnus pick. Very strong hero, can flip-flop between the 5, the 3, whichever sort of role that is really going to fit best for the current team composition and what you're going to be playing up against. But nowadays you do tend to see it as more of a 5 role, just becoming that sort of main empower bot, following around the position 1, just making sure that they get the easiest time farming. So pretty much guaranteed that Just Era is going to have to pick up a melee style hero to really benefit from the empower properly. So very little chance of like a Drow strat coming out, anything like that. And OG can lead up straight away with the Sven. Even though the Omni Knight has been banned out actually by themselves, they're going to go with it anyway, because it is a very strong position 1 pickup for a lot of teams. And OG does love to run it, put it in the hands of mid 1. He does a pretty good damn job on it. So we'll see what sort of supports they're going to try and pair up with that. But just they immediately step up the PA once they see that Sven. It's already a pretty decent matchup, forcing the Sven to get that sort of MKB style, whilst also being able to benefit from the minus armor that comes out from the Magnus. The Empower, that comes out from the Magnus. I was thinking about Slardar coming out potentially now from the side of OG, put into the hands of Seb. A very strong offlaner. I know it's not really a hero that Seb plays super often, but it is just very strong in the current sort of play style, especially with the Corrosive Haze, really ramping up the damage that Sven's going to be able to do in these team fights. As well as you want to make sure that doesn't fall into the hands of Just Era. I mean, obviously there is a banning phase yet to come, so if OG don't pick it up now, it's most likely you get banned out. And that should go for that ET, a hero which they absolutely love playing. No other team touches this hero, really. No other team. Everyone steers clear of an ET, unless there is some absolutely incredible matchup which just, you know, requires an ET. But yeah, it is pretty much just OG, and they're super flexible with it as well. They can put it in mid 1 for position 1. They can run it in Seb's hands for position 3. Even Soxer plays it occasionally in position 4 if somehow the ET gets countered in the off lane. Briefcase, yeah. We're going to see some big whacks coming out from that. But I think the main reason why they like to pair it up with the Sven is just the naturalized aura that comes out from the ET strips so much armor away from the cores on the other team that Sven just pretty much a very similar style to the Slardar, makes everyone super squishy. And at least this way, he doesn't even have to like cast it on anybody, he just has to be there in the middle of the fight. And this aura is always just a massive pain in the ass. But sure enough, OG, seems like they did pick up the Slardar. They immediately ban it, realising that if that goes into the hands of Just Era, those crits from PA are going to hurt a hell of a lot. Be real damn brutal to play up against. So let's make sure they're taking that possible pickup out of the hands of Just Era. So we have to wait and see what position Just Era are aiming this Magnus for. Whether if it is actually just going to be that 5, or maybe they might put it into no one's hands for the off lane perhaps. It's definitely a hero in his wheelhouse. He can roll it if he needs to. And it is always nice having a core Magnus every now and then as well, just to basically get a little bit easier to get the decent RPs off as you've got a little bit higher farm priority. Normally build into like a really early Blink Dagger, as well as other sort of maneuverability items. Can also be a very strong right clicker himself, obviously. Not sure what's going on with that song. So far, Just Era are focusing pretty much all of their bans towards Seb in the off lane. So, do they think this ET is going to be for a position 4 role? Have they forgotten that Seb loves running an ET as well? If so, this could just be a complete waste of bans that's coming up from Just Era right now. Obviously, you sort of feel like you have to ban out the Bloodseeker, because a Bloodseeker against the PA is really damn brutal. All you gotta do is just hit the Rupture on the PA, and her Blink Strikes do 2 million damage to her, and she just can't really run around and actually do much work in these team fights. They've also banned out the Bat Rider. It has sort of left a Viper pickup potentially for OG, put that into the hands of Topson for the mid lane, and then this PA always going to be a potential target for those Nevers Topson strikes, especially with the sleep setups coming out from the ET as well. And plus then actually if they go with the Viper pickup, they're going to be able to break away the blur from the PA, so potentially Sven won't actually have to build an MKB this game. He could just try and rely on the break from that alone to actually hit the PA with. We'll have to wait and see. Will we ever know the truth of the bans? Well, we're soon going to find out if maybe OG do somehow swap this to be Suxer as a position 4, but I highly doubt it is. I'm pretty damn sure this is going to be for Seb in the off lane. I'm pretty damn sure. So we'll see what OG's going to grab up for their next hero. Probably going to be their 5 or 4 position. I'm going to go for the AA. This is a hero that No-Tail's run quite a lot of times, actually. Another good way to the Cold Feet conjunction with the ET Sleep as well. Pretty much guarantees the Ancient Apparition stun to come off almost every time. Also, just the global presence of the Oast Blast is very threatening. Just there, they're going to go for the Shadow Demon. So that's most likely going to be for Zayak as the position 4. So it'll be a 4 Shadow Demon. Still yet waiting to see what the position 3 pickup will be for Just Era. Or of course, if the mag is that 3. But they could potentially go for like a Mars pickup. A good way to try and limit the movements that comes out from the Sven, and well, at least until he gets his Ags online, and then he's going to be able to just fly over that wall super easy. As well as the ET could potentially build the Ags as well, just to get that sort of magic community online as well. We'll have to wait and see. So actually, they take up the Tusk pickup now. So that's most likely going to be for Suxer as the position 4 role. They have sometimes put this Tusk as the 3 and put it into the hands of Seb for the off lane. But that's only ever really when Suxer's got a key rotating hero which can try and apply a nice bit of pressure into the mid lane as well and make enough space for Topson. But with an ET and Ancient Apparition as your other 2 potential support heroes, I don't really see that happening. So it's pretty much guaranteed to be Suxer on the 4. This ET will be Seb, or even a Topson. Because, I mean, Topson has run it before. I mean, yeah, I think the only times Topson's actually run the Elder Titan is when he's up against like a Meepo or something. So we're probably not going to see it, but even still. So Just Era also pick up the Tiny. So it's looking like this Magnus is actually going to be a core then. And they instantly ban out the Viper. Oh, but maybe OG think this Tiny is going to be a core role then, as they ban out the Undying. So still want to try and focus a few bans towards solo then. I mean, I suppose it is mainly Zayak who plays the Shadow Demon or Justerra, and he's the 4. And you don't really tend to see a position 5 Tiny. So I suppose it does sort of make sense. This is going to go for the mid lane into the hands of Sumail. But it's quite difficult to go for like a burst strat against the Sven and ET. They're both very tanky heroes that can normally survive that Avalanche Tusk combo. Even Tusk to some extent once he gets a few levels. I think so far it's only the Ancient Apparition who's going to get instantly popped by that little wombo combo. But we'll have to wait and see. Justerra could still swap things around. Maybe put this Tiny into the hands of something else. And it makes most sense though, if it is going to be a core Tiny. Or even Sumail might take the Magnus to the mid. No, but then you would have an offlane Tiny, which doesn't really sound good at all. Would you even take out the Beastmaster actually as their final ban? Maybe thinking that this Mag could have moved to the mid, had the 5 Tiny, or even the 5 Shadow Demon, and then put the Beastmaster as the off lane. Could have been it. Makes a bit of sense. So we'll see what Justerra are actually to grab for their final hero. And it's going to be the Warlock as their position 5. So this is going to be a core Tiny then with the Shadow Demon as the 4. Very rare that you see a position 5 get that last pick of a team. Has it really felt like it's counted a huge amount? Not hugely. I mean, is there going to be many cancels for when he goes for the upheaval slow? There's a Snowball from the Tusk, Stomp from the ET. Stormhammer from the Sven. So there's a few cancels. And OG actually grabbed the Puck as their final hero. So that'd be for Topson in the mid. So looking at these lineups, it's not like there's like super many big team cohesion spells going on. Who do I actually favour these lineups? Justerra, they got a nice couple of team ultimates. You got the RP, got the Golem drop from the Warlock. Meanwhile, on the side of OG, you've got the Reality Rift and the Earth Split. The Earth Split is never really like a key ultimate in most team fights. Sure, it does help out, but it's not something where you're like, oh my god, the Earth Split comes out, whoa, you know. It's just a nice bonus in most team fight occasions. Anyway, I'm a little bit unsure about who I favour of these 2 lineups. Maybe I'll just go with OG, seeing as how they are just the better team, a little bit more reformed, had a bit more practice with each other. Meanwhile, as I was saying, Justerra, still relatively new roster, only been going for, I think it's about a month now. And as I was saying as well, they really need to get at least 1 win. 1 win and they are safe. Even if they lose the series 2-1, it doesn't matter. All they need is that 1 game and they can rest a little bit easier. You know, just to make sure they stay in the Division 1 groupings. We'll have to see if it actually pans out that way, or if OG are going to say, nope, you ain't going any further. You're stopping here. And tries to net an easy win. Zayak's actually going for a very early Observer Ward onto this high ground right now. Maybe expecting OG to try and make some sort of aggressive move. We'll have to wait and see how that actually pans out for him, but you don't really tend to see a ward up on this high ground very often. I thought maybe they might try and go for some sort of crazy play. No one skewers someone onto the high ground, and they've got the permanent vision. If they go for the TP out, Zayak can just disrupt them, and then they're screwed. We're going to see a little bit of contestation now for the Bounty Runes. Mid one, N0tail can try and get in there. And everyone else on the side of 404 just bails away from the room. And even Zayak's getting focused up now, held in place by the stun that came out from N0tail. And that's the first blood onto Zayak, as well as taking the Bounty Rune. And Sox is even going to take the other Bounty Rune. Oh, this is absolute disaster for Just There already. They lost the first blood and all 4 bounty runes. It's a solid 1k gold lead at 20 seconds into the game. Oh, that's got to feel bad if you're Fatal Error right now, or Just Error. And Sox is even going to stay around there. They're going to just keep this aggression moving on to Zayak. Stuns in place with the tag team as well, providing a lot of slows. So the stun once again pops on from N0tail. And that's another kill onto Zayak's. And he's just TP back here. He's going to have to run all the way back to lane without any boots or wind lace. So it's just no one here for a little while. So already Zayak is off to a terrible start. Very, very lovely beginnings here for OG right now. It's actually N0tail who got both the kills, so he's super rich. I think he's probably got brown boots coming out. Oh, just a full Basti, actually. Going to be able to sustain mana a little bit better. Spamming out those spells in the lane. Make it a little bit more miserable for no one. So, I mean, as a result of this, Ramses is just basically soloing up against the ET. Which ain't too bad for him in these early levels. They can basically trade pretty evenly. So you should have an okay time farming up here. How's the farm going off in the mid lane? Sumail got pretty low there, but the aggression coming out from Topson. Well, they both did, really. Both could start chucking those tangos. But even still, the CS difference is incredibly similar. 12-0 to Topson, 10-0 to Sumail, and there's still a few more creeps for Sumail to actually farm up. Topson even just going to get a free deny there onto the range creep. So he's got a slight little bonus already. Just going a little bit better hit there for him. But I mean, after that super chaotic start into the game, everything's just settled down a little bit more. Now that Sox has rotated up to the top, OG haven't just got some super easy kill potential on the bot lane. They're actually going to start initiating onto no one. Disruption though comes out, so he should be able to avoid the stun lock that came out from the Ancient Apparition. So they do have that slight counter to it now. Now there's like level 2 at least. Maybe they can make a move on to Zayak again. The cold feet. Oh, he just gets out of range. So Zayak should be able to survive this. Seb and Ramses just having a lot of fun with each other at the moment, throwing out these high fives. There were quite a few chat wheel spams, but now Soxo and Seb is going to focus on solo. Good lord, look at that Warlock melt. 3 hits on the briefcase and a couple of whacks on the tusk as well. Takes so much damage. Just the bonus damage that comes out from the Astral Spirit level 2. He was getting like plus 90 damage there. And for these early portions of the game, that just hits like a truck. It's basically like having a Divine Rapier. Once you compare it from, you know, the scales of how much HP people have at this moment in time and how much 90 damage is actually effectively. Very brutal to lane up against that. And unfortunately as well for Solo, he has no surviving mechanics. He can just chuck the Shadow Word on himself and hope he survives. you know, at least Smel's having a relatively decent time in the mid. Pretty much identical CS so far between him and Topson. So see if maybe he might make a few rotations with his level 6. Maybe try and get a couple of kills on the board for his team. Make a little bit of space for Ramses, perhaps. But everything's sort of fallen into a slight little lull period right now. Well, actually, never mind that. Solo. He ain't getting no lull period. He's getting constantly smacked down up top. Every time he shows his face, and Seb's got the Astral Spirit online. 2 million damage. Really hurts against that poor little Warlock. He's holding his 5th point. Actually, to go for the Stomp. I thought maybe he might just go straight up for the Astral Spirit and go for pure damage build. That's such a Seb. Applying a lot of damage onto Ramses. But there is Solo there. That gives him an easy blink strike target. Keeps him safe. There is going to be potential now for Suxer to maybe rotate around to the mid lane. Seems how Topson's got his ultimate online. Sure enough, he is. He's actually going to TP to the tower. Realize he needs to be a little bit closer. Out comes the Reality Rift, holding Sumail in place. Suxer's now getting involved. Sumail, the silence runs out, so you could potentially try and make some sort of counterplay, but unfortunately, the toss cooldown, level 1, is just way too big. It just can't quite do the same. Actually, it's got the same cooldown as the Avalanche. Well, pretty much. So you're always going to have that combo online at the same time. But obviously, level 1 doesn't really do too much damage. Spreading out a lot of his abilities across with these other 3 abilities that he does have. So again, nice little D-ward there. Also manages to avoid the stun that comes out with the haste ring that was still activated. And mid once is going to pop his God Strength and start farming up this ancient stack that was made. 4 stacks. He's just going to be able to make sure that he gets the last hit on those ancients. So mid one's not even going to bother. He's going to be okay. I ain't going to be able to secure this. I'm just going to let it fall. And it looks like Noto actually ends up getting caught out. So Mail's rotated around. So there should be a nice free kill there for the mid laner of Just Era. So finally, they're on the board. They've got a kill. That's exactly what they're after. But up top, Solo. He's getting harassed out by Suxer. He even gets his TP cancelled there by the snowball. He's running into the trees. Once or twice over, Dodge is still left. He will avoid the cut-off that was coming out from Seb. He's wasted quite a bit of time. Unfortunately, he's at a dead end now. There's nowhere left to run. And he will fall. Sure, he wasted quite a lot of time at least. It's actually getting Smells even rotated around here. Maybe they want to try and make some sort of counterplay happen. They're going to find the grab on the Suxer. Avalanche toss. Even Ramsey trying to get involved. Out comes the snowballs. Going to create a little bit of space for Suxer to try and roll backwards. Popping out the tag team. And Seb's just laying into Ramsey. He's doing tons of damage, but it wasn't enough to actually keep Ramsey's locked down in place. He was able to survive. The Smel's still hanging around here. Avalanche toss back online. He could potentially try and go for the combo to blow up Seb once again. He's actually not going to bother. I thought maybe he could. 700 HP, Avalanche toss. Max level into the Avalanche as well. With a couple of right clicks. Avalanche damage, 300. Plus the 90 for the toss. But then it like doubles damage or something. Avalanche does 3 times damage to units being tossed. So that's 900 damage. Plus 90. I think he could have killed him there. He just decided against it though. But he was still down by Emoji. They can start making people to no one. Out comes the RP defensively, making enough space for him actually to walk it away. And then OG is going to focus their attention onto the Shadow Demon instead. Poor Zayak hasn't got any way to survive this. He's taking quite a while to die actually. He will finally get brought down with the final right click, comes up mid one, and they find another stack. Or is this the same stack? Oh, this is actually a new stack that the Zayak had made. Force Sumail to farm up or no one. But everyone takes it instead, especially with the God Strength that was already popped, just making a nice amount of efficiency from that, stealing away these creep camps. Ramsey's even down bomb, going to run straight into mid one. There's a few rotations coming out from the rest of Fake Just Era though. But I don't think they're about to get the grab onto mid one. They're going to change their targets over to No Tail, and it looks like he will fall. Meanwhile, up top, Thompson ended up making a rotation. Maybe they wanted to try and find the kill onto Ramses, but they just had to settle for solo as Ramses had already bailed out there. So probably to see Seb start working onto this tier 1 tower now. But even still, this is just getting real rough with the side of Just Era. 5k gold lead at nearly 10 minutes in. All 3 cores on the side of OG sat right at the top of that net worth chart. And now mid-1 just swaps lanes with Seb. He's alright. Bottom's way too risky now. Too many heroes are started turning up. So Seb's going to put himself into that pretty difficult lane. And he could definitely handle it. Super tanky boy. Ramses is like, what? Zayak, why have you not been making stacks for me, bro? What's this all about? Little does he know. Well, he probably does know. I imagine he likes probably communicate that. Oh, and speaking of the devil, Zayak ends up dying once again somewhere across the map. Down that mid lane. This is a super easy kill for the side of OG. Super squishy Shadow Demon. Mid-1 choose this God Strength, force down this tier 1 tower at the top. Make sure he gets the last hit. Well, the camp's already been farmed up. So he's actually going to swap to the mid lane. There's no one, and Ramses managed to get a free kill onto No-Tail there. Oh, the Boulder. Ramses tried dodging it, but he couldn't quite get it. Even the RP tried to make enough space for Ramses, but it only connected onto the Tusk. They left mid-1 to get a couple of whacks in, but even still, it was actually No-Tail who managed to net the last hit on both of those. Well, it was probably just the Ice Blast tick damage. Easy double kill there for the dead Ancient Apparition. Even when you're brought down, you get your revenge in the end. We just see that net worth distance between mid-1 and Ramses is growing more and more. Despite the fact that Ramses does now have the empower to try and ramp up his farming speed, the main problem is the fact that this is a core Magnus. So he's not just going to be constantly followed around, getting that constant empower buff to really ramp up the speed that he can farm. I mean, it's something that you tend to see coming out from like a position 5 Magnus, but this is the downside of running it as a core. That's why with a lot of like the bigger teams, you tend to see this as an exclusive position 5 role. Maybe like, I don't know, 1 out of 5 games they might run it as that position 3 or something instead, or maybe the mid laner. But this is much better as a 5. And once again, now Sumail getting focused up by the rest of OG. Out come the Dream Coil for Thompson, lock it on to Stu. The Golem gets committed by Solo, but it's only going to catch on to Saksa. Even the Demonic Purge of Syke slowing him down. He's going to survive! Or when the Demonic Purge ticks, he will actually finish him off, so he will drop. And then OG, they're going to get their revenge. They're going to start focus on to Zayak one more time, or Solo actually, and he ends up falling. So it actually ends up being a 2-for-1 trade, favouring OG there. Nice movements from them, keeping this aggression going. The net worth just getting bigger and bigger. 8k gold at 12.5 minutes in. It's real damn rough. It looks like maybe Just Era, they don't want to give up this tower just yet. It would definitely make their side a lot weaker to have easier camps to farm up. As soon as this tier 1 falls, it completely opens up the triangle to get sieged by the side of OG. So they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep this tower alive, but unfortunately, there's not much you can do against the Sven. We've got straight. Oh, and even Smery gets caught out by the sleep that comes out from Seb. With the Splurf as well on top. He just managed to get dodged it from the disruption that came on there from Zayak. Keeping Smear alive for now, but not long enough. And he ends up dropping. So another 2 kills as well as the tier 1 for OG. This is just getting worse and worse. And another grab from Thompson. He drops the Dream Coil onto no one. Out comes the Ice Blast. Does actually connect on no one. But not that it matters. There's enough damage. Everyone just gets deleted. Mid-1 focus on to Solo. He ends up dropping a buyback. Comes out from no one. They want to try and use this RP and maybe get a kill. Out comes the Storm out from mid-1, trying to make some space. There's the RP. Going to skew it back towards the tier 3 as well. It's going to be quite a nice amount of damage. But luckily for Saksa, it's focused onto mid-1 instead. So he's going to get the TP out there. But it looks like Saksa will finally fall. So they find a kill. Woohoo! They got a kill, ladies and gentlemen. Just Era, they finally got something. It's just a Tusk though, and it cost them a buyback onto the core Magnus, as well as multiple deaths on the supports as well. Ramses' farm is, I mean, it's best on his team, but it's still quite bad 500 gold behind that of the behind of Seb, the off lane on the opposite side. We're going to need to see some real miracle plays coming out from Just Era to somehow win this game. And I think the only way I can see that happening is if no one gets like a 3-4 man RP, Ramses comes in with the Empower buff on him and gets like 3 crits in a row with this Daedalus finished up, which is going to be online pretty damn soon actually. So there's going to be a slight little moment for Just Era to potentially try and make a play across the map somewhere and find a kill. Or a couple of kills in a more ideal situation. But Thompson, he just jumps forward, he gets the grab on Smail, out comes the Ice Blast of N0tail. This is guaranteed death on the Tiny. The support's coming in from Just Era, trying to make space, keep him alive. But he tries to make it, ooh! Stony Wedge ends up getting denied by the Ancients there. So, you know, a silver line on that very dark cloud. But even still, he ends up dying. And now Ramses is getting focused up by Tops of the set. Keeping this aggression going. Meanwhile, N0tail and Mid1 just find a kill across the map on the other side. Picking up the kill onto that last support. But Thompson, he's just carrying on going. He's charging into the tier 3s. Forcing Ramses all the way back. He's just not letting up. Ramses got pretty damn low. Now, OG's going to be forced to try and retreat here. But it looks like maybe Thompson stepped out too far. Going for the opposite side. It actually distracts the members of Just Era, so not about to get the grab. Oh, now comes the Ice Blast from downtown. N0tail gets the snipe, brings him down. Sure, it costs Thompson's life. But this is all bans for OG right now. They are perfectly happy with this. Just, you know, spamming those chat wheels. Something that they is just very synonymous that comes with OG. This is all just fun and games. I think they realise just how far ahead they are. They can afford to do some shenanigan plays. They're, you know, they're showmen. OG is showmen. They love to just make these most ridiculous plays. They're super entertaining to watch. That's why OG got one of the biggest fan bases in the Dota 2 world, as well as being able to win 2 TIs in a row. Not only is it fun for them, but it's also really soul-crushing and tilting for the other teams to get just rolled over this hard. And then chat will spammed. Well, looks like maybe OG, they can find a grab onto Seb as well. Smail, Seb leading the charge. Trying to slow him down. Ice Shard block comes up from Soxa, but Smail's already heading the other way. He's trying to find something. He's running left and right, trying to find the opening. He's going to try and get a kill onto N0tail before he ends up dropping, but it's not going to be enough. Hadoken comes out from Soxa, blows up Tiny. Another death for Smail. I mean, you know, if this is my pubs, people would be spamming Space Created. And they'll be pinging Ramses right now saying, you know, get some items. And he is trying to build that BKB next time. Just got his Desolator at the moment still. But even still, with this item, this isn't really enough for Just Era to try and make a play. I mean, maybe they might be forced to be honest. Because playing defensively is clearly not working. That's all they've been doing for 15 minutes. Is trying to just play reactive and just keep people alive. But it's not working. OG just finding the kills anyway. They're even going to clear up the Roshan kill now themselves. Everyone else on the side of Just Era is on the opposite side of the map. They might actually be able to find this tier 1 at least. So they're going to get something. But this is a trade OG are definitely glad to take. Cheers for the follow as well, Lions. I appreciate that, buddy. Hope you're enjoying the show. Well, I hope you're enjoying OG just dismantling Just Era right now, because that's all this is. Normally you say that the other team's on the back foot, but it just feels like Just Era don't even have a foot. They're just a stump rolling down a hill, and OG are the ones just kicking the stump around. Mid-one's just whacking onto this tier 3. There's no play coming out from Just Era. They might actually go for a smoke up. Going to try and wrap around from the outside. But Thompson's actually sat on the side ground. Breaks the smoke onto Solo. So they're going to realise this is going on. Jump into the back. Gets the silence on 2 supports. Plus the Dream Core. They're both locked in here. In comes the Ice Blast. Only going to connect on Solo. Side manages to get disrupts and saves. So now tries jumping in to make a little bit of space. Out comes the stop. Now everyone's getting involved. No one pushes them off the side. RP comes out. Connects onto the 2 main cores on the side of OG. But where's the damage? There isn't any. Smail ends up dropping as well. Mid-one doesn't care about anything else. Just laying into no one. Says, yeah, you RP me, but you're going to die for it. Keeping them rolling forward. Solo, he's running the wrong way. He ends up dropping down. 3 deaths on the side of Just Era. This is over yet. Thompson's carrying on diving forward. finally going to get this kill onto site. Perhaps there's one more disruption. Even Ramsey Sneed gets the kill onto Thompson. Just managed to get the save. But Thompson, he's still diving forwards. This man's crazy. What's he doing? And then there's the GG call. 404 are done. They are done. That was really soul crushing. They got completely dismantled there from the side of OG. Real brutal game. 19.5 minutes as well. Oh, that's bad. I mean, I'm not bad as in it feels bad, but very good there by OG. Very, very good indeed. Played that game super well. I think that all just spiraled off that first blood down bottom, and then all 4 bounties plus getting the first blood on Zayak, and then they got a return kill onto Zayak once again, forced him to walk all the way back to lane because his TP was on cooldown, and it was just an absolute showstopper from there. Well played there by OG. Absolutely crushed Justera. I think Justera, they need to have a real calm down after that game. They need to have a think about it. Maybe try and think of something new to try and bring onto this table, or just have a little mental reset. I don't know. Watch a few comedy sketches or something. Make yourself laugh. Make yourself feel better. They need something. They really do. And as I was saying as well before that game, Justera, they need to find one game to keep themselves in the Division 1 of Epic League. And unfortunately, that wasn't their game. That's not the one. So they have to win this second game. Even if they end up losing the series, they need this second win to keep themselves in this division right now. So we'll see if they're able to do that. If they're going to be able to bounce back and actually take a game with OG. Or if OG is just going to crush them once again. There's only one way to find out. And that's watching the next game. So hopefully I'll see you guys for that. Thanks for watching that video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and the content I was able to provide. I am just starting out, so if you did like it and you want to support me in the future, then please think about following and subscribing to me on Twitch, Twitter and YouTube. I post on Twitter what events I plan on covering in the future and when I'm actually able to do some casts. I don't have the most free time in the world, unfortunately, so I can't provide constant content, but I can guarantee you every single time that I do cast, I'm giving it my all because I have a lot of passion for it, and hopefully that does come off. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you stick around for the next video. So hopefully I see you guys there. Cheers.